Regis is going to give a couple of words, and he's going to remember a giant that just left us. And you do your magic, Reg, because this is not easy for us.
A giant's right. He towers over me. You know, this is very bittersweet. I'm sort of laughter, it's sort of tears. I've been coming to this meeting about 40 years. And what's interesting, I talked to my wife last night. I said, honey, what's really cool is I see these friends that I've known, God, for decades, old and new. And one thing about the spine section, it's always been very, very good about the community. And when Mike Wine was chair, he gave a great talk. He talked about how we slam together our personal lives and our professional lives. And I think Mark, who passed away, December 4th, sort of epitomized that. So what's interesting, Mark's the other half of the famed Shaffrey brothers, right? So who knows two giants of neurosurgery that grew up together. What's interesting, when I was in West Virginia in college working as a Teamster, I'd never met him, but 3 houses down that the Shaffreys lived and went to high school with my sister. So I met the Shaffrey brothers when all 3 of us had hair, and we would get John Jane's credit card and go to the bars and do extreme damage there. So the Shaffrey brothers, Chris is the oldest, and then Mark, and then Tim with their mom and dad, who I knew years and years ago. Large family. I've been to several of their weddings. Mark's wife, Caroline, their 4 kids, and about 28 dogs. I don't know, I've been to Mark's house, there's animals running around. So what's been interesting is if you go and study Mark's life, like a lot of us, articles and, things, and, he was chairman at UVA for almost 20 years, and his professional accomplishments are great. What's also interesting is his humility. And we all talk about family life, right? Everybody's a good husband. Mark actually walked the walk, right? Mark actually did have his, marry his high school sweetheart, Caroline, and Mark actually was the guy that was home with his family, and Mark is the guy that nourished community and friendships. And I think it's important that we remember this. Charlie Coons passed away 10 years ago, and his legacy lives on by the Coons Scholars. Mark has passed on, and I think we need to have his legacy live on. So with that, though he was a neuro-oncologist, Mark was heavily involved in spine and actually was part of the Spine Corps QOD. And if you look at what this group has done, it's been absolutely remarkable what they've done in terms of peer-reviewed publications. And this was one of Mark's love. Again, very quiet, gentle giant. And the Shaffrey boys have contributed tremendously to neurosurgery. I can't imagine what it would be like to be a junior resident under those guys. I heard they were brutal, which happens to be why Okonkwo was like he is. These are the Shaffrey brothers. They kind of look like the offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles, don't they? When I'm next to them, I'm like the short guy. So, when our brothers and sisters pass on, we have to remember them. One way is through the NREF and allow their legacy to live on. So I just want us to just have a remembrance of why we come here and why we do the things we do in our lives. Thank you.